What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. As you can see behind me, I have the Santa Fe once again in the garage because today we're going to be doing the first quote-unquote mods, kind of mods, not really mods, but you'll see once we get into it. But the first thing we're going to be doing on the Santa Fe today is we're going to be finishing off the LED light package. Now, almost every single light on this car, exterior and interior, comes LED, except for like a handful, literally like 4 or 5 bulbs. And the first ones we're gonna be changing out are the vanity mirror lights and the rear cargo lights. Now, like I said, the dome lights in the inside of this car are fully LED. Why Hyundai didn't choose to put these 3 bulbs as LED, I have no idea, but we're gonna be changing that out today. Now, for the outside, we have license plate lights and the much needed LED reverse lights. Once again, every single light on the outside of this vehicle, front and, well, I guess there's only one white LED in the back, but well, like I said, every light on the exterior of this vehicle is LED except for these ones right here. So we're just gonna swap those out today. Should be quick, should be easy. But on top of that, we're gonna be doing my favorite part today. We're gonna be deleting the rear red reflector bar off the liftgate. So for those who don't know, I'll show you here in just a second, but this is the 2019 to 2020 trim panel. It fits this vehicle from everything that I can tell. So we're gonna be swapping this out for a nice chrome trim and getting rid of one of the giant reflectors on the back of this tailgate. So just a quick rundown for those of you who aren't familiar with the differences between the pre-facelift and the facelift on the current 4th generation Santa Fe. Now, what I have in front of me is a 2023 model, which means it is part of the facelift that they did in 2021. Now, one of the things they did is they changed up the taillights ever so slightly. They moved the reverse lights from down the bumper up to the quarter panel light right there. Then they added in this ginormous, like 36-inch red reflector. Now, this doesn't light up. This doesn't do anything. This is just a red reflector, as well as the entire center section of the one in the bumper right there. Now, the turn signals still are on the sides at the bottom right there, but pretty much everything from here all the way over to here does absolutely nothing, doesn't light up. It is just a reflector. Now, for 2019 and 2020, this crossbeam right here came as a nice chrome trim that I have sitting on the workbench over here. Now, just to show you what it is right there, and this is the part that we're going to be swapping in today. All this is 2 bolts on the backside right here and right there, and then a couple of clips. So this should be nice, simple, easy to come in and out. You can't access this through the panels on the back of the liftgate without having to take the entire trim off. Now, for those of you who are interested in doing this after you see this video, here's a part number. I'll also leave that in the description below. I should also mention that there are companies that make this as a light up brake light or running light, but honestly, I don't really like the way that looks, hence why I'm not going that route. I do like the satin chrome trim so that it matches all the rest of the chrome trim all over the side and the back and the front of the vehicle, which is why I'm doing it. Now, for those who are interested in doing this, just to let you guys know, this was $135 straight from Hyundai, genuine OEM part. So for those who are interested, like I said, part number will be in the description below. Now, to quickly go over the exterior lights that we're going to be changing out today, these right here are the reverse lights. It's one on this side and then obviously one on this side right there. Now, as you can see, these things are super tiny and honestly not all that bright. They do a decent job for what they are and how big they are on lighting up the reverse area when you're trying to back up at night, but LEDs will be a much bigger improvement. Then also, the last thing we're going to be doing on the exterior is going to be doing the LED license plate lights. Now, as you can see, these things are barely noticeable during the day. They don't really do anything for you other than make the car just look a little bit more modern and newer. The halogens do give off a weird warm glow at night, and when you have LED license plate lights, it does make the car just look a lot fresher, a lot more expensive, and just all around a lot more high end. Moving on to the interior, we can go over what lights we'll be replacing today, and those are the vanity mirror lights right there. As you can see, they are just standard halogen bulbs with a weird warm white glow, versus the dome lights, just like these 2 right here, which come LED from the factory. And then just to show off, the rear second row area lights also come LED from factory. Last but certainly not least, the very final light that we're going to be replacing today is this rear cargo area light right there. Now, as you can see, this is obviously, once again, just a standard halogen bulb. And at night, that thing does a terrible job of lighting up the rear cargo area. An LED bulb is a super simple swap out, and it is going to make a ginormous improvement. Now that all of that has been said and is out of the way, let's dive right into working on the Santa Fe. Started off with the easiest bulb replacement first. This rear cargo light is super straightforward. Simply remove the lens, pop the old bulb out, press the new bulb in, and then reinstall the lens cover. Next up, I jumped into swapping out the two vanity mirror lights. As you can see, I chose to pull the entire light housing out. I just think it makes it a lot easier to simply swap these bulbs out on the workbench instead of trying to fish it through the tiny opening while it's still attached to the headliner. That way you can easily plug them back in and push them back into place. Now that all the interior lights are finished up, it was time to jump into the exterior lights. First thing to do is remove the taillights to gain access to the reverse light bulb housings. As you can see, there are two screws on each taillight behind these little covers. Once the taillights are out, all you have to do is twist the bulb housing to release it, pull the old bulb out, push the new bulb in, then twist the bulb housing to lock it into place on the backside of the taillight. After that, it's as simple as lining the taillights up to the car, pushing them in place, and reinstalling the two bolts securing them to the car. Last but certainly not least, the final bulbs that I'm going to be replacing are these license plate lights. These are yet another simple, easy install process. First thing you do is remove the two screws in the lens cover. That will allow you to gain access to the back side so that you can twist the bulb housing out to swap in the new LEDs. Once that is taken care of, all you need to do is push the lens back in place and reinstall the two screws, then just repeat it for the other side. Next up, it was time to remove the red reflector bar on the liftgate and replace it with the satin chrome trim. As you can see here, I ended up removing the interior paneling on the liftgate. It's extremely easy to remove, it's just a mixture of panel clips and a few screws. Removing this gives you access to the blue clips on the backside of the reflector bar. You'll need to compress those with pliers to release them. Then you'll easily be able to pull the old reflector off and push the new satin chrome trim in place. Reinstall the two nuts on the backside of the liftgate and the new trim is installed. All that's left to do now is to reinstall the interior paneling in the reverse order as you see here. Alrighty guys, so here's a look at the finished chrome trim install. Now I must admit, I did discover something in the process of this that I didn't know ahead of time, and that is that, or at least I didn't realize it, but that is that these taillights for the 2021 and newer actually stick out past the liftgate right there. So the chrome trim on the 19 and 20s actually just dives in and is flush to the liftgate. So there is a tiny little bit of a proud reflector right there, but stepping back, I think I can definitely say that the chrome trim is 100% better than the red reflector bar thing. Does this little bump out bother me? I'm not 100% sure yet. Right now, I don't think it does. What I'm gonna do is leave this on here for now. And then if it starts catching my eye and starts bothering me, this is an easy part to just unbolt, unclip, and swap out and put the old one back in. But for right now, I do like the chrome trim or the satin chrome trim a heck of a lot better than the giant red reflector. Originally, I wasn't going to get into vinyl wrapping this reflector on the rear bumper, but I had some old Avery gloss black vinyl laying around, so I decided just to go for it. Since I wasn't planning on doing it today, as you can probably see, I didn't have my vinyl squeegee with me, which is why I'm using the trim removal tool. I should also note that I would have liked to remove these pieces from the bumper to wrap them, but because of how late it was getting, I just didn't have the time to do it that way. This way still works, but the other way would be the better route. This also might be temporary. This vinyl is so old that I don't know how well it'll hold up. Avery gloss black also has a brown look to it when next to true black paint, but at least it will give an example of what it'll look like blacked out. Alrighty, now that all of the lights are in the back of the car, you can see just how much brighter these LED reverse lights are. These are going to make a big difference at night. And then also you can see just how nice and clean and crisp white these LED license plate lights are. A quick tip for cars that have plates mounted to painted metal surfaces: throwing some foam tape on the backside of the plate will help protect the surface and eliminate any rattling noises. Alrighty guys, it is the next day, and unfortunately last night, by the time I finished up on the Santa Fe, it was already getting dark outside, so I figured I would wait until this afternoon to give you guys a nice glimpse of what the Santa Fe looks like with the chrome trim on the liftgate and the black vinyl wrap going across the red reflector on the bumper. Now, I can definitely say this looks a heck of a lot better. I don't even really mind the two little small red turn signals on either side of the bumper anymore. Now, I must say, after looking at this for the day, I don't think I mind this little bump out on the taillight. It kind of looks like a design feature, like it's almost kind of supposed to be there and supposed to be that way. So I really don't mind it at all so far, and I definitely definitely like the satin chrome trim going across the liftgate instead of the red reflector. It just matches all the rest of the satin chrome trim that is literally all over this vehicle. That's a quick glimpse here for you guys. On that note, guys, we're gonna wrap up today's video. So peace out, and I will catch you on the next one.